All right, let's talk about something that's on a lot of people's minds: passing on a legacy. We're going to dive into what really happens to your money after you're gone, and why the plan you think you have in place might not work out the way you expect at all. So, what happens to your money? You probably think, easy, I've got a will, I'm covered. But, a will is really just the first page in a very long and often surprisingly complicated story for your assets. Today, we're going to unpack that whole journey and, more importantly, uncover a much more direct path. So let's get started with the biggest roadblock most people face. And that brings us to our first section, the estate settlement problem. You can think of it as this costly gatekeeper that stands right between your money and the people you want to have it. And that gatekeeper has a name: probate. Now, think of probate like a mandatory court review. Before your executor can do anything your will asks, a court has to step in, validate that the will is legit, and then officially grant your executor the authority to act. And here's the kicker: for most estates, it is absolutely not optional. Okay, and here is where the problem really snaps into focus: the timeline. A direct payout to a beneficiary from something like an insurance policy, we're talking about a week, maybe 10 days. The probate process, that can lock up those exact same assets for anywhere from 4 months to 2 full years. That is a massive, stressful delay for your family. And time isn't the only thing you lose. The financial hit can be huge. Just look at the official provincial fees for $1 million estate. They're all over the map. But the real gut punch is that last line. Because on top of those government fees, you can expect legal bills and accounting costs to skim another 5% or even more right off the top before your loved ones see a single dime. So, you see, probate isn't just one single problem. It's a whole collection of them. You've got the crazy time delays and the high costs, sure. But then your will, your private family business, becomes a public document for anyone to read. Your investments are frozen in place, totally exposed to any market dips. And the whole pot of money is fair game for creditors. It's a mess. Which brings us to our next section, the joint ownership trap. Now, when you're faced with all those probate headaches, it's pretty natural to look for a shortcut, right? And the most common one people reach for is adding a son or a daughter as a joint owner on their bank account or their house. And on the surface, yeah, it seems like a really simple, clever fix. The promise is so tempting: avoid probate altogether. But the reality? Oh, it is a minefield. The second you add their name, you lose sole control of your own asset. You could trigger immediate, unexpected tax problems. And all of a sudden, your life savings are exposed to the new owner's financial life. We're talking their creditors, a business failure, even a divorce settlement. And honestly, the worst part, it might not even work. The courts can challenge the whole thing and toss the asset right back into your estate, landing you square one in probate. So if a will gets jammed up in probate and joint ownership is a trap waiting to spring, what's left? Well, thankfully, there is a third option. A way to create a much more direct path for your money, one that completely sidesteps the entire estate process. And the key to this path is a simple but really powerful feature called a beneficiary designation. It's built into insurance-based contracts, and it lets you name a specific person to receive the money directly. I mean, think of it like a contractual superhighway. The money is legally required to go straight to that person, bypassing your will, your estate, and the whole probate traffic jam. And look how simple this process is. When the owner passes on, the insurance company just needs to be notified with proof of death. And that's it. The funds are paid out directly to the person whose name is on that contract. There are no courts, no public records, no frustrating delays. It's a completely private, direct transaction from A to B. That brings us to Section 4. The segregated fund advantage. So this direct path we're talking about, it's a core feature of a pretty unique kind of investment called a segregated fund. At its heart, it's a product that combines the growth potential you'd get from an investment fund with the powerful protective benefits of an insurance contract. And the financial difference it makes is just stunning. Let's take a $1 million investment that has to pass through the estate. You could easily lose nearly $70,000 to probate and fees. With a segregated fund, because it completely bypasses the estate, those costs are zero. Nothing. That's a full 69 grand that goes to your family instead of to lawyers and court fees. And as it turns out, this is exactly what people are looking for. A recent survey from RBC found that a massive 87% of Canadians over 55 want an investment that gives them both guarantees on their principal and the potential for market growth. They want that perfect combo of safety and upside. But here's the crazy part. 60%, more than half, of the exact same people who say they want this combination of features have no idea that a product like segregated funds even exists. There's this huge awareness gap between the problem and the solution. So, you see, the real power here is this whole bundle of benefits you get in one place. You get those financial perks like principal guarantees and the ability to lock in your market gains. But you also solve all those other problems we talked about earlier. You get total privacy, potential protection from creditors, and you maintain complete control of your asset, all while making your executor's job a whole lot easier. So this all leads us to our final section. And really, the most crucial takeaway of all, structuring your legacy. Because it turns out, effective planning isn't just about what you own, it's about how you own it. This quote right here really gets to the heart of it. The structure of your ownership, the how, is what dictates the efficiency, the cost, and the speed of passing everything on. I mean, think about it. A portfolio of stocks held inside an insurance contract behaves completely differently at death than the exact same portfolio held in a regular brokerage account. The how changes everything. So, we'll leave you with this one question to think about. Take a look at your own financial plan, your own portfolio. Is it built just for your life, for living? Or is it also truly prepared for that final step, for leaving a legacy? The answer could make all the difference in the world for the people you leave behind. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.